All right, guys, welcome to my Aztec Green EG Hatchback DSG K-Swap Turbo project car. I bought it in Vancouver, had it shipped out here to Toronto because I wanted a clean example of an EG, and those are getting pretty hard to come by here in Ontario. Unfortunately, it's not as clean as I had hoped. Chassis is in great shape. There's like basically no rust underneath. The floors are in great shape. But the original owner, for some reason, painted the wheel arches with rocker guard, and I've tried to remove it with like different thinners and things like that, and it's like not coming off. It does have a bit of rust in the back quarters, like most do, and way more than what was like disclosed. Either way, I knew the car didn't have perfect paint, and I was prepared to paint the car. I really do like this Aztec green color. The car is in fantastic shape. It's only got like 170,000 kilometers. It drives amazing. It is the spec that I wanted. It is a DX, and the DX is exactly what I wanted. It has power steering, but no air conditioning and no sunroof. So the exact spec I want. Also, this car is an automatic, which like most people aren't interested in. They obviously want a manual. But I specifically wanted an automatic because I'm gonna do a Volkswagen DSG swap. Here's the shifter for the DSG. And here's the paddles that I'm gonna be using. They're off an Evo 10. The transmission's over here. This is a 2007 Volkswagen GTI front wheel drive DSG transmission. It is what they call the DQ250. I have an adapter plate for it. So I am going to eventually swap that transmission with a K-Series into this car. I haven't decided which K-Series yet. I can't decide between K20, I have one over there, or K24, like potentially this one here that's sitting on my stand. Either way, the engine swap's a little ways off. Today, I want a proper ride height on this car. Right now it's on the completely stock suspension, and I want to install the wheels and tires that I have for it. I have a set of Kosei K1s, which is like one of my favorite old school wheels for these cars. I have a set of Nankang 205 50/15 tires on them, and I really want to put these wheels on this car and have it at the right ride height, or at least a ride height that looks good. MaXpeedingRods reached out recently and they're like, can we help with any of your projects? And I'm like, well, I need a set of coilovers. And they're like, no problem, we'll send you a set of coilovers. So we're gonna do a little unboxing of these coilovers. I'll install them, test drive the car, and give you my overall impression. They did not pay me to do this, but they did give me these coilovers for free. So I don't mind free stuff. I'll test them out and give them my honest opinion. So let's open it up and see what they're like. All right, guys, so MaXpeedingRods gave me these coilovers for free to review and share with you guys my impressions. Apparently there's a deal going on this month, Black Friday, and there's a coupon code for 10% off. So if these turn out good and you want a set, I'll put the coupon code in the description and you can get yourself a set. So let's open them up. All right, let's see what we got. Tools. Instructions. We don't need instructions. So this is the rear, obviously. And there's supposedly, I think, 24-way adjustment for the dampening. Feels pretty good. I'm curious to see how low they will go. So for fun, I think I'm going to install them at their lowest setting first and see how it goes. So that's a rear. Let's grab a front. Okay, this is kind of cool. A lot of coilovers that I've used in the past never came with any means of being able to hold the brake line. So you always have to like zip tie it, which is super sketchy. This is kind of cool that they've given you this little extra bracket to hold your brake line out of the way so it doesn't get torn off when you turn the wheel and stuff. So there, it's bottomed out, so that will be its lowest setting. So we're gonna use that. And so that's the front. Pretty good. Why don't I start taking the EG apart, get it jacked up, get the wheels off, get the stock suspension out, and
get these installed.
All right, I was going to just do this on the ground, old school style, like I used to do in my home garage, but I have two hoists. There's Porsches on these hoists at the moment, but I think if I lift up that Porsche and then push this Porsche under there, then I could just bring this car over and use this hoist and work smarter, not harder. So these two guys showed up and now I have help to push these cars. So I'm definitely gonna rearrange these cars. So Steph, you're gonna help push. Steph, by the way, owns the TSX that everyone's asking about what happened. We tried to tune it and we had problems with the Flash Pro. We resolved the Flash Pro issues like basically later that day. The car ran for a while, but then the turbo died. Installed a Pulsar turbo now. And hopefully next week, we're gonna put that TSX back in the dyno because so many people have been asking about it and wanted to know what's going on. So we just have to put it back on the dyno now that it's up and running again and see what it makes with the new Pulsar turbo. Let's move some Porsches around so I can get this EG on this hoist and start installing these coilovers. Boom, EG's on the hoist. Let's get the wheels off, get the suspension out, and while Andrew's here, I am going to get his help to hold and help install this EG spoon lip that I've been holding on to since basically I bought this car. This is honestly like my favorite lip on these cars. This is a spoon replica urethane lip, and I want to see how it looks on the car. So, all right. Hopefully the video does it justice. I love the look of this lip on these cars. But up in the air doesn't really do much for it. So why don't I get to installing the coilover so I can get the wheels on and then get it back on the ground all low and see what it looks like. All right, well, finished unboxing and got the coilovers all laid out here. The coilovers look great. I'm curious how they perform. These brake line holders are awesome. I don't know, maybe it's a new thing because I haven't done coilovers on an EG in a long time, but back like 10 plus years ago when I did the last set, this didn't exist. So super cool that it has this. So I'm gonna go just over everything, tighten, make sure that this nut is tight, the strut nut. I'm gonna take the tape measure and just make sure the preload is basically all the same, and then make sure the lower cups are the same, and then it'll be time to install them on the car. All right, all the coilovers are all on. Everything's bolted in, everything is tight. Time to put the wheels on. They're all set to the absolute lowest position, and based on what this looks like, I think that's gonna be way too low in the back. But you gotta start somewhere. Let's get some wheels on and see what this thing looks like. Oh man, with the wheels on, the car already looks so much better. Can't wait to get it on the ground, but this offset and these bigger wheels, I think are gonna cause a problem. See this rust, I'm gonna have to take care of it. But I think we're gonna have some clearance issues back here. And technically that's not so bad. I know I have to redo the rear quarters. And if this was an original paint car, it would be really hard to justify rolling the fenders and dealing with this to clear the set of wheels. But because I'm going to have to do the quarter panels, it doesn't hurt so bad that I'm gonna have to massage these rear quarter panels to fit this wheel fitment. But why don't we put the car on the ground and see what the ride height's like and see what it looks like. All right, guys, this thing looks amazing. The ride height looks perfect, but actually I don't think this is the real ride height. I think it's kind of stuck on the hoist at the moment, and the hoist is giving it an artificial ride height. I actually think this is sitting much lower. I might have to lift it up and put some wood under the wheels, but for now, I'm just gonna admire this stance because it looks awesome. The only thing that's really bothering me about this is this stupid black paint around the wheel arches. Who does this stuff? Who thinks this is a good idea? Anyways, I'm gonna have to figure out some sort of solution that doesn't drive me crazy, because ultimately the car needs a whole paint job and I don't want to paint it before The engine swap is done because it would kill me if I went to all the trouble of painting the car and then the paint job got damaged during the engine swap and all that. So for now, I'm going to admire the stance. I like this stance, this height. It's pretty good. I think technically the rear has to come up maybe half an inch, but I think it's, yeah. So the car's technically sitting on the hoist. What I should probably do is get some wood to put under the wheels and see what the real ride height is. So why don't I take care of that and see how low this thing actually is. All right, well guys, it's the next day and someone came to hang out.
What up?
Robbie came by for a visit, so I've been showing him the car. And what do you think, Robbie?
I mean, the car is as beautiful as it's always been. I'm pumped about the shop.
Yeah.
I think that the new shop is obviously, it's an amazing space.
Thanks, man.
This thing though, with the wheels and the lowness,
We should
I've only
actually.
seen it on.
I know, it's up in the air. You haven't really seen it on the ground yet.
I'm a fan of the chonk though. This is a good amount of, even though they're still narrow, they're like a good chunky tire, you know? They're not stretched.
That's exactly
they
what I
look
was
like
going for.
A little baby with big muscles. It looks good.
So what I was thinking is maybe, now it's basically all done. I've done all the work. The coilovers are on, they're all tight. I played around with the ride height a little bit and perfected it, I think. I think it's a really good ride height now.
He's gonna rub.
Oh, it's gonna rub for sure. But I think it's time to put it on the ground and take a look at it. And I have to actually use wood to get it off the hoist because it is so low.
It's too low.
I can't get it off the hoist without wood. So.
Did you show them your partial fender roll already?
Oh, the rust?
Yeah, the rust partial.
We're not gonna talk about that.
It's already rolling its own fenders.
I'm gonna deal with that later.
No, we blur that section in the video.
So we're just gonna pretend that it's not rusty. It's not all painted black around the wheels. But yeah, so why don't we lower the car down, get it off the wood, and show you what it looks like with the coilovers and the ride height and everything.
This e-brake's up, right? I'm not gonna put it down. It's not gonna roll into a Porsche.
The e-brake is on, so we're good.
Hey, you see the locks? Oh, that is the locks. I was confused. It is on the lock.
Now it's on the lock.
This is a weird flip. This is your lock.
That's the lock, and then that's the down.
Interesting. All mine have like little pull tab things.
Oh, like locks individual on either side?
Like forklifts like this.
So here we go. This is the ride height, but you know what? Let's get it. I'm gonna have to jump in it and
Off the wood a little bit.
yeah, get it off the wood. We'll move it around and then.
Lose your mud flaps. Not that you need them, but
I love the mud flaps. That's what these mud flaps. I forgot to mention it. Like these are like a rare item for EGs. Not a lot of them had it, and I think they're super cool. And most of them have been taken off or lost at this point. But this car has all 4 of these little mud flappy things.
you want to know when I had mine?
Did you take them
I
off?
put them right in the trash.
Oh my god.
I took them off and just.
They're so
threw them
good.
out.
So I set all the ride height up, and I think this is where it's gonna
Sorry.
basically gonna be. But why don't we get the car off the hoist, drive it off the wood.
Drive it. It runs.
It runs. It runs.
Would you like to do the honors?
Maybe you could do them. Go backwards.
Go backwards? Regardless, you have 2 2x4s like this. It's gonna do the thing where when you get to the end, they go, and one flips up and smokes something.
Probably, yeah.
But I'll do it every time.
Yeah, let's go backwards first. Oh yeah. All right, let me move the wood. We should move it forward a bit so we can get a good shot.
Yeah.
All right, I think it looks pretty good.
Dude, it's a shame that this guy collects engineless Porsches. We can pull it outside.
I know, this thing's in the way. I would like to drive it, and I actually do need to drive it and do a little review, but I think I got the ride height really good.
Perfect. There's little tabs here. You're gonna bend it. It's fine.
Yeah.
You don't need them.
How's the rear by comparison?
The rear, well, the rear is
a
gonna
bit
be
rusty.
A little blurry for everybody that's watching
Yeah.
this.
It's nice and rusty.
Oh, it's gonna hit. See, the pro is
I gotta like get rid of all that.
So what's happened, the problem is that now there's like an edge there.
I know, it's gonna wreck the tire. So I shouldn't drive it like this. I'm gonna have to deal with the rust and the fenders, roll these quarter panels before I actually drive it on the street. So maybe we'll hold off on the driving for now and
wait until
just admire the stance, let's say. But it looks so good.
Dude, it looks so good. I love these little things.
The fitment is great.
It is. The tire fitment, your tire size choice is perfect.
It's great. I wanted to go wider just because, like, you know, it should better, but 205, 50, 15 is awesome on these cars. It looks so good.
It looks it looks like it actually makes a little bit of power, even though it's
An automatic single cam at the moment.
It looks fast. It looks good.
So yeah, I am pretty happy with this ride height. I think we're gonna end the video here because it is actually snowing outside, and these are Nankang AR1 basically semi-slick tires. So it would not actually be a good idea to try to drive this car today. So we're gonna have to, and I want to close out this video while you're here. And
Give them a quick stiffness test, maybe.
sure, let's see.
If it has anything. This is not like an official test, but oh, that actually feels like it's gonna drive nice.
Pretty good. Let's see the back.
Well, the back's kind of clear, but just not once you're driving.
Oh, it's not even touching. Well, sort of, maybe. It's very close.
Yeah, the problem is it's going to be when you turn that you have an issue, but that feels like it's going to ride actually really nice. Usually you put in coilovers and you jump on it, and it just feels like you're jumping on concrete.
No, they feel really good. And honestly, I haven't even set the dampening settings yet, so I don't know. I have to play around with that, but I have to do that on the street. I think I usually do something like all the way soft first or all the way hard, and
all the way, and then just work your way
exactly
to the other option. Yeah.
But I think that might be it. We end the video here so you guys can check it out. I'll upload this, and then I will, once the weather clears up a bit, then I can drive it and we'll see how these coilovers perform. But let me know what you guys think of the car, the ride height, and also the plans for it. I will be doing the DSG transmission on this in a bit, but I am super interested in seeing this DSG transmission working in this car. It's gonna be super cool being able to like paddle shift a K-Series in an EG hatchback. So yeah, that's about it, I think.
Make sure you guys like this video. If you want Nick to not be able to sell this transmission,
yes,
we will give it a nice burnout competition before we DSG swap it.
Yeah, actually I kind of want to put it on the dyno, like single cam automatic, and see what kind of power it makes on the dyno. Should do some like, what do you think? I was thinking like 80, so I'm curious.
It's close. It's gonna be in and around there.
It'll probably be like 60.
It's like 70.
It feels like 60. It's so slow to drive this thing, but
oh, it's automatic too though.
It's automatic, 1.5 liter single cam. But yeah, anyways, I think that's about it. Thanks for stopping by, Robbie. It's cool hanging out.
Make sure you guys like the video.
Take care, guys.